Let's check out some pickups from this week's new comic book day, as well as some extra pickups as well. First up, Batman, The Adventures Continue, Season 3, Issue number 1. Absolutely love this cover, as well as this variant cover. This one screams like the classic Batman, like the Season 4 of Batman the Animated Series, with all of the different like stylings of how they did the villains. It's actually kind of a mix because it's the classic Poison Ivy and Two-Face, but the newer Penguin and Bane. So that's pretty cool. All right, so first up, we do have Batman The Adventures Continue. Now, this story was really good. It introduced a new villain to the Batman animated universe, aka the Muscle, who was basically a hitman for the mob, and the DA and Batman and Gordon were trying to make him take a deal, but he didn't really want to do it. There's some good stuff in there. They bring up Lockup, and the ending to this really makes me excited for this new season of Batman the Animated Series as comic version. Like I said, Paul Dini and Alan Burnett have been doing great with the past 2 seasons of Batman the Animated Series as comic version. So I'm excited to see what they do this season. We have Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo, number 3. I absolutely love this cover. Batman and Joker, Deadly Duo. This was a very good issue. There's this kind of like version of Joker who's in a sensory deprivation like outfit, and he basically has a gimp mask on, which is just so strange and so surreal and so weird in so many levels. The artwork in this is great. The story is good so far. Lazarus Planet Alpha number 1. Lazarus Planet Alpha number 1. This was a fantastic issue. Mark Waid, who is currently doing the Batman Superman World's Finest comic, which is one of the best comics of 2022. I think I mentioned that in one of my other videos. But it's so good. This takes off after Batman versus Robin, or however it was. And the Lazarus Island has exploded, and it is basically raining Lazarus water across the entire world. And Damian is leading the troops of a lot of technological people and magical people to different locations to try to stop or try to basically make sure that the world doesn't get something bad doesn't happen because of the Lazarus water. There is some good magical stuff in here. Zatanna's great. Supergirl's great. There's some Blue Devil stuff in here. There's a great exchange between Blue Beetle and Cyborg, and the ending scene between Batman, because he was heavily injured at the end of Batman versus Robin. So the ending shot of Batman is surreal. I Am Batman number 17. Batman Urban Legends number 23. I absolutely love this movie poster cover. Batman Urban Legends number 23. There's some good stories in here. There's a good Nightwing and Batgirl story here. There is a great Batman and Robin story, which takes place when Batman and Dick Robin, when Dick was like really just joining out as Robin, and Batman begins the story by going over some of the rules he has for having a partner, and basically he disregards all of that completely, and it's a great story with Robin driving the Batmobile against Firefly. It is a great story, so I would definitely pick this book up just for that. The Flash 790, The 1 Minute War Begins. The Flash 790, The 1 Minute War Begins. This was a great story. Basically, all the speedsters realize that the world has been frozen, which is really not unnormal for them, but the world is frozen except for something falling from the sky, and they really got to figure out what's going on. There's a really sad scene between one of the Flashes. I'm excited for this event. I absolutely love the Flash. I love what the Flash has been doing lately, and now that like Barry's back and we have Wally here as well, I love it when all of the Flashes work together. Reprint of The Incredible Hulk number 1. Daredevil number 7 with this Frank Cho variant cover that's modeled after the classic Frank Miller cover. You might think this is Avengers book, but this is actually Amazing Spider-Man number 17. Honestly, this is such a cool cover. I love all of the different Disney characters as the Avengers. We also have this really cool John Romita Jr. cover, who modeled it after his father's cover. Amazing Spider-Man number 17. This is a very interesting book. I know I mentioned in one of my other videos that the Dark Web event has been great. This issue was a little bit heads or tails. There's this really, and I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter if you're in the if you follow any comic books. of the new like Spider-Man version. It basically looks like a Spider-Man Ninja Turtle. Don't really get it, and I mean it's cool, but I don't really. It's okay. And there's some great stuff between Peter and Jonah. I love how he knows who Spider-Man is. There's some great stuff with that, and it's so funny. Picked this awesome cover up through the Comic Mint. This is a Boss Logic Dark Web #1 cover. Honestly, this is such a cool Spider-Man cover. Gold Goblin #3 with this awesome homage cover. Miles Morales #2, which introduces a new villain into Miles' world. And again, this is a homage cover to that famous Todd McFarlane cover. Has there ever been a more like homaged cover than that cover? Dark Web, Mary Jane and Black Cat #2. Mandalorian issue #7. Mandalorian #7. I wanted to point this one out because this is, like I said, this is like the illustrated version of episode 7 of Mandalorian, which was the end of Quill, and that even the comic version, it's just still so sad. Like it just having that last shot be his dead body. But the one thing on this book that is really cool is this was the introduction. This is the first episode that Moff Gideon appeared in, and it has in here his "You have something I want," and the TIE Fighter landing. It's so cool. Scarlet Witch #1. And lastly, from Ounce Comics, The Wombat #1. The Wombat #1. This book published by Ounce Comics. I had actually never heard of them, but if you follow me on TikTok as well, I am part of like the crossover comics community. A few of us were reached out to take a look at this book and review it, and I have to say it was really good. The beginning of the book, it was a little like confusing. Like I wasn't sure what was exactly going on, but it was cool. It was very gory, which I honestly always love in a comic book. There's some great stuff between a few of these new characters who they're introducing, and there's some like cool interactions. That part of it isn't like there's a lot of like Spanish in here as well, which doesn't take away from the book. Like I don't speak Spanish, but it still is so cool. My light went out, but you can still see me pretty well. But it's such a great book. I'm really excited to pick up the second issue of this, even though, like I said, I've never really heard of Ounce. I don't know if my store carries them, but it was a great issue. Like I said, one of the things I really love in comics is the gory stuff. Like just seeing people be able to draw, there are little spoilers here, but there's literally a scene where someone literally just eats half a man, and all you just see is his spine and like the arms up. It's just so cool. It's so cool. But there's some cool stuff. There's some cool characters in here, and I'm very intrigued to see where exactly they bring this story. But this was a really cool origin story. So I would definitely check it out. Like I said, it is from Ounce Comics, and it is The Wombat #1. Thank you for joining me for this week's Comic Haul. I hope you enjoyed this new format. It's something I was testing out a little bit. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more comic stuff. And thank you.